just made a video on why I only use 180 degrees of rotation on my wheel, and then this happened. I've decided to pull up my times from F1 2019. This is Mexico, one of my worst circuits. I'm only at 32%. We have Germany here, where I'm at 24%. This is on a PC again. Brazil, I'm top 21%. Moving on from that, we have Catalonia. I think I'm 19% here. Where are we? Suzuka, Japan, a circuit I really struggle with, 16%. Austria, love Austria, 16% again. Can't seem to get that last couple of seconds out. Australia is a circuit that I definitely struggle with a lot, so I'm very proud to be able to say that I'm in the top 13% with regards to that. It did take me a long time to get that down. Monza is probably one of my favorite circuits, if not my favorite, and there I'm at 7%. Big disclaimer coming up. The intention with the video wasn't to be like, I got you bro and everything you need is in this video. It wasn't like that. It was really to share my personal experience and to explain things from a perspective of how I did it. To some people it was like, no, and it just didn't make sense to them, and some people were just confused. All in all, it got me thinking as to why was it that I actually started using this in the first place. And then I remembered it really started because of a shoulder and neck injury, and I had some issues with my back. I still have those ongoing issues at the moment, and that's what caused me initially to fall into lowering my degrees of rotation, because it meant that I didn't have to tangle my arms up in certain situations. Every time I would end up at the Conical hairpin, I'd leave the scene looking like the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix, and nobody wants that. Speaking of Conical, moving on here, I just want you to just take note of the time. I run a 1:11.889, which puts me in the top 18% on the F1 2019 PC leaderboard. Taking advice, I've set my wheel to 400 degrees of rotation for this experiment, and we're quickly going to grab Freddie Rasmussen's setup. The rule to this experiment, if I can get within 2 seconds of my normal lap time, I will definitely continue to experiment with a larger wheel rotation. For a lot of these esports guys, I don't even think they actually use wheels. I think they just control the car with their mind, to be honest, because some of those times that they pull out are absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, this is going to be my first lap with my new experimental rotation. It is important to note that this is first thing in the morning, and I've woken up fueled by social media comments on the subject, just trying to see, well, maybe I actually am doing things wrong. I should also say that I've been on a Assetto Corsa Competizione for the past 2 weeks, so I haven't really touched F1, and the feel is completely off for me, in addition to the fact that the steering's not what I'm used to, highlighted right here. We're going to pick things up on my second lap, still all over the place, not really feeling the car yet, locking up massively there. Going into the hairpin here, I did actually start to kind of feel a little bit extra when I was in there, I must admit, but I wasn't very quick. I wasn't able to sort of do the motion quick enough and unfortunately touch the gas. Just whizzing around the rest of the lap, we're going to see I come up 7 seconds short, 7.8 or something short, so well off my normal pace. Again, partially explained by being on ACC, partially explained by not being used to this setup. So just again whizzing through, just trying to sort of get up to speed and start to get those times down. Even though this isn't the way that I would normally do things, I still do genuinely want to give it a try, because if it does happen to make me faster, then obviously I'm really looking for speed. I'm not looking to be right, I'm just looking to be faster. Finishing the lap up here, we end up 6.3 seconds behind at this stage. So dropped 1.5 from the previous attempt. Seeming to be getting a little bit quicker with regards to it, starting to get the feel of the game back again. Still a bit all over the place, but starting to at least sort of bring it down. Finishing another lap here, you see now that we're 4.6 seconds behind the best time. So still going down. I think was that 1 point something before, as we just invalidate another lap there. This here is the moment of truth, what we've really been waiting for. So beginning on the first lap, just heading up, trying to keep things together. At this point I do have a much better grasp of what's going on here, and as you can see from the time, I'm only just barely behind, just a few tenths. So managing to keep things together. This hairpin is really, definitely there's merit to be giving it with the extra rotation on that part. I definitely see some benefit to that, despite still being slow going through there. Some of that's room for learning, some of that's, it's not my normal technique. But moving on, managed to just about hook it out here, which is again sort of maybe benefited a little bit from the extra rotation there. Keeping it fairly well together, for like 1.2 seconds behind, start to drop time here unfortunately, and just as we make the last couple of corners go just over 2 seconds, we then pull it back really quickly, and it's really touch and go here as if it's going to be made, but 1.871, that means I'm underneath the 2 seconds. Just going on from this here, just speeding through this one. This was just a second attempt just to see if I could do it 2 times in a row using the setup. Was it a fluke or not? And yeah, I almost set the same time again. So definitely there is merit to that. I'm not sure that I would use it to replace my current setup, but I think I can find some sort of balance in between the two. Now onto Assetto Corsa. The footage speaks for itself. Bearing in mind that I've been on this one for, like I said, about the last 2 weeks, this car just felt alien to me. And all the people that say that Assetto Corsa Competizione feels dead, when I actually increased my degrees of rotation, I couldn't even feel the car anymore. I didn't really have any idea about what was going on, as evidenced again in the video. I managed to get rolling, and again the wheels just, wow, I just don't even know what's going on. It just feels so weird to me. But I managed not to immediately bin it and invalidate the lap. Not that that really matters at this point. I'm just really just trying to see, can I get around in a certain amount of time. So coming into La Source, completely missing the apex, way behind the ghost car, just no regular comfort at all, not the feeling I'm used to receiving. Heading into Eau Rouge, up, don't know what to do with the steering, immediately go off, invalidate the lap, finishing up that lap and starting the other one coming into La Source. You can see in the top corner I made a 2:31.429, which is about 9 seconds behind the best time that I can do on this with this car using my settings. And again, just going up Eau Rouge, I have no idea what to do. I just find both sets of wheels and it's just a mess. I don't seem to be able to get it in check. All in all, ACC was not a pleasure for me today. I really wasn't able to get to grips with it, and I really do imagine that I'm going to be just going back to my old settings. F1, however, was a slightly different story, because I must admit that I was able to feel just a little bit more in certain instances, and I think that the reality is going to be a balance somewhere in between my 180 and, I mean, I'm not going up to 400, I'm not going to do 360, but I can see me doing like the mid 2s. That extra sort of 60-70 degrees of rotation, I can see that that might help me, but to my driving style, these extra amounts haven't benefited me.